and welcome. So, while I wait for some sabers to come in so that I can review them for you, I figured I'd do a follow-up review to something I did a while back. A while back I reviewed this, which is the Vault edition of the Book of the Sith. Now, this is basically something that Disney and Lucasfilms released. It's from Legends, so it's not anything that they're held to with in terms of canon anymore. But it's just this cool book or well-bound book with some schwag in it, like a crystal and a compass and this cool little holocron. And they call it the Vault edition of the Book of the Sith. And I reviewed this in terms of what the book is and the Vault and all of that good stuff. Get that put away. And some of you guys found that real interesting. So I wanted to do the counterpart, which is the Vault edition of the Jedi Path. So the Jedi Path Vault is a lot less interesting than the Sith one, which of course is a giant holocron. This one is a vault. But it's got a push button here on the bottom, and when you push it, okay, we end up with, there we go. We end up with lights and sounds, and the vault opens up, and the book comes out. So the Jedi Path book doesn't have quite as much swag as the Sith holocron does. The Sith holocron had that compass and that crystal. This one has swag that's hidden in the book in the same way, including, if I can find it, there's a Padawan braid right there. Patch. There's a coin in here somewhere I'm trying to find. There it is. Okay, a Jedi credit coin. So it has a bunch of cool swag in it, and it's a really nicely bound book. That coin does have a tendency to fall out if you don't keep it in the vault. Nice binding on this side, at least. The difference between the Vault edition of the Book of the Sith and the Vault edition of the Jedi Path in terms of content, whereas the Sith is designed to be fragments of Sith lore from various authors over time, including many notable characters in the Legends canon, the Jedi Path is a handbook to being a Jedi, so it's a completely different structure. It starts off with Padawans, moves into Knights, moves into Jedi Masters, talks about Force ability and lightsabers. It's still annotated like the other one is, so if we look on any given page, there's annotations in the margins by notable characters like Ahsoka and Yoda. So that it has in common with the Book of the Sith. There's actually more annotations in this. So that's kind of neat. But in terms of the material is less interesting on the whole as far as I'm concerned. That might just be bias on my part. But the Sith one was about like Sith lore and Sith history. And the Jedi one is written to that handbook for the prospective student, more about what Padawans will have to go through. And it's the format of it, I think, is a little bit less interesting. The swag is perhaps a little bit less interesting, though that coin is pretty cool. The vault itself is a little bit less interesting. But if you're predisposed towards Jedi stuff, it's still a cool complement. And this one is probably in greater circulation than the Book of the Sith. So this is easier to get a handle, or to get your hands on. The mechanism for the vault, in order to get it back in, you have to push it down until it clicks, and then manually close the vault. So unlike the Sith one, which retracts automatically, this one is a little bit more of a manual prospect. So that's the the Jedi Path Vault edition. You can still find these around. They get pricey from time to time, but if you're shopping the secondhand market, you can pick them up for not too much occasionally. Hopefully this review has been interesting to you. If so, join me back. I think I've got one more of these to review, the Imperial Handbook. And we'll be looking at lightsabers, holocrons, and other cool stuff sometime real soon.